What if I told you that right now, somewhere in the world, there's a 600-year-old book that nobody, not a single person, can read? Or that in 1987, someone hijacked live television broadcasts across Chicago, wearing a rubber mask and broadcasting pure chaos, and we still don't know who they were or why they did it? Or that 9 experienced hikers, trained for extreme cold, fled their tent in the dead of night in sub-zero temperatures, barefoot and terrified, dying as they ran from something we still can't explain? These aren't just mysteries. They're mirrors, reflecting the darkest, strangest, and most obsessive parts of human nature. This is the Unsatisfied Curiosity, and today we're diving into 10 unsolved mysteries that will force you to ask uncomfortable questions about who we really are as a species. Before we begin, I need to frame this differently than other mystery channels. We spent several days researching these cases, combing through declassified documents, academic journals, witness testimonies, and forensic reports. But we're not just asking what happened. We're asking, what do these mysteries reveal about us? Why are we so obsessed with solving them? What does it say about human psychology that we've spent decades, sometimes centuries, trying to crack puzzles that may have no solution? Each of the 10 mysteries we're covering today exposes something uncomfortable about humanity. Our capacity for violence, our need to find patterns in chaos, our vulnerability to the unknown, and our stubborn refusal to accept that some questions can't be answered. Let's begin. Mystery 10: The Sailing Stones of Death Valley. We'll start with something that seems almost innocent, but reveals how desperately we need to rationalize the natural world. In Death Valley, California, rocks move, not tumble down hills, not get pushed by animals. They glide across perfectly flat desert floor, leaving trails hundreds of feet long behind them. Some of these rocks weigh over 600 pounds. For nearly a century, this phenomenon haunted scientists. In our research, we found papers from the 1940s proposing everything from magnetic anomalies to extraterrestrial intervention. People refused to believe nature could do something this weird. In 2014, researchers from the Scripps Institution of Oceanography finally captured it on camera. Thin sheets of ice form overnight, and wind pushes the rocks across the slick surface. Simple, natural, explainable. But here's what we discovered in the comment sections, in forums, in Reddit threads. Even after being proven, people still argue about it. Thousands insist there must be more to the story. Conspiracies, government cover-ups, ancient technology. We're so uncomfortable with mundane explanations for extraordinary phenomena that we'd rather believe in elaborate conspiracies than accept that nature is just strange. This sets the tone for everything else we'll discuss today. The mystery isn't always in what happened, it's in why we can't let it go. Mystery 9: The Phoenix Lights. On March 13, 1997, thousands of people across Arizona witnessed something in the sky that defied explanation. Not a few people. Not a dozen conspiracy theorists. Thousands of credible witnesses, including the sitting governor, described a massive V-shaped object, over a mile wide, gliding silently over Phoenix. During our investigation, we reviewed hundreds of witness testimonies from the National UFO Reporting Center archives. Police officers, airline pilots, engineers, all describing the same thing: a structured craft with lights in perfect formation, moving without sound. The military's explanation? Flares from a training exercise. But we found evidence in military logs and witness timelines that the flares appeared hours after the initial sightings, and they looked completely different. Falling, burning, nothing like the rigid formation that floated overhead. Here's what disturbs us most about this case. Despite thousands of witnesses and documented video evidence, this was effectively buried. The governor held a press conference where he brought out someone in an alien costume to mock the witnesses, publicly ridiculing thousands of people who saw the same thing. What does this reveal? That our institutions would rather humiliate citizens than admit they don't have answers, and that we as a society are more comfortable with mockery than with mystery. The Phoenix Lights case isn't about aliens. It's about what happens when the official narrative fails to match mass human experience. Mystery 8, the lead masks case. Brazil, 1966. Two electronics technicians, educated rational men, are found dead on a hill called Morro do Vintém. They're wearing formal suits and homemade lead eye masks. Next to their bodies, a notebook with cryptic instructions. We obtained translated copies of the original police reports. The note said, at 4:30 p.m., take the capsules. After the effect is noticed, protect your faces with the lead masks and wait for the prearranged signal. No capsules were ever found at the scene. Toxicology results were inconclusive. No signal was ever identified. No one came forward. The prevailing theory, supported by investigations into Brazilian UFO cults of the 1960s, is that these men were attempting to contact extraterrestrial or spiritual entities using psychedelic substances, and the lead masks were meant to protect them from harmful radiation during the experience. Think about that. Two educated men were so convinced of their belief system that they dressed in formal wear, as if this was sacred, created protective equipment, followed a detailed protocol, and willingly ingested unknown substances. They committed so completely to something we can't understand that it killed them. What's most disturbing isn't how they died. It's the absolute conviction with which they approached their own deaths, the ritual, the preparation, the faith. And we still don't know if they were part of a larger group, if others were present, or what they truly believed would happen. This case reveals how belief, unchecked, unquestioned belief, can drive intelligent people to their graves. Mystery 7, the Max Headroom broadcast intrusion. November 22, 1987, Chicago. At 9:14 p.m. during the evening news, something impossible happened. Television station WGN's broadcast signal was hijacked. For 25 seconds, viewers saw a figure wearing a Max Headroom mask against a rotating metal backdrop, bobbing and swaying. Then, 2 hours later, it happened again on WTTW during an episode of Doctor Who. This time it lasted 90 seconds. Distorted audio, bizarre movements, cryptic ranting about Pepsi, a fly swatter being used in a sexual manner, and the phrase, "your love is fading." Then it ended. The broadcast returned to normal. We researched FCC investigation files from 1987 to 88, massive resources, federal crime, potential prison time, and they found nothing. No suspects, no equipment traced, no explanations. Here's what makes this a perfect window into a certain type of human mind. Whoever did this risked federal prosecution and prison time. Or a performance, a joke, art, chaos, we don't even know which. They didn't steal money. They didn't broadcast a manifesto. They didn't try to become famous or claim credit. They hijacked one of the most regulated systems in America just to create 90 seconds of absurdity. This reveals something profound. There are people who disrupt systems purely to prove they can, to inject chaos into order, to leave an unsolvable riddle. And the fact that they were never caught, that makes the mythology stronger. They did the impossible, then vanished into history. The Max Headroom incident isn't a crime. It's a statement about control, chaos, and the vulnerabilities in our most trusted systems. Mystery 6, the Isdal Woman. November 29, 1970, Bergen, Norway. A woman's partially burned body is discovered in a remote valley called Isdalen, the Ice Valley. She carried no identification. But when Norwegian police investigated, they discovered something that still haunts researchers today. We reviewed declassified police files and isotope analysis reports from multiple investigations spanning 5 decades. This woman had used at least 9 fake identities. She checked into hotels under different names, never staying more than a night or two. She owned multiple wigs. She systematically removed all luggage labels. Her fingerprints had been sanded off. Every identifying mark on her clothing had been cut out. She was found with coded notes written in a cipher never deciphered. Suspicious burn marks, bruises suggesting struggle. Pills beside her body. Isotope analysis completed in 2017 suggested she was from Germany or France. But we still don't know her real name. We don't know why she needed 9 identities. We don't know who she was running from or working for. The leading theories involve Cold War espionage, but nothing has been proven. This case reveals something chilling about identity itself. It's possible to erase yourself so completely that even in death, nobody knows who you were. She lived as a ghost, died as a mystery, and remains as a question that makes us uncomfortable. What drives a human being to systematically delete their entire existence? Espionage? Abuse? Mental illness? Fear? We don't know, and that's what haunts us. The Isdal woman proves you can become nobody, completely and permanently. Mystery 5, the Taman Shud Case. December 1st, 1948. Adelaide, Australia. A well-dressed man is found dead on Somerton Beach. No identification, no wallet, all clothing labels removed. In his pocket, police found a scrap of paper with the words Taman Shud, Persian for ended or finished. It was torn from an extremely rare copy of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a collection of Persian poems. We examined the case files held by South Australia Police. When investigators located the book, it contained a local phone number and a coded message that has never been deciphered in 77 years. The dead man's teeth didn't match any dental records worldwide. His fingerprints led nowhere. His autopsy suggested poisoning, but no toxin was identified. One of his leg muscles was unusually developed, suggesting a specific profession, possibly ballet or a specialized trade. For 77 years, codebreakers, linguists, cryptographers, and amateur sleuths have tried to crack the cipher. Entire online communities formed around solving this. People have dedicated their lives to it. But here's the uncomfortable truth we discovered. We care more about the code than the victim. The man is almost irrelevant now. His death is secondary. What consumes us is the puzzle, the pattern, the challenge. A dead body is tragic. But a code? That's personal. That's a riddle demanding to be solved. This case reveals something dark about human nature. We're pattern-seeking creatures, even when the pattern might be meaningless. We obsess over ciphers more than we mourn the dead, and that's deeply uncomfortable to acknowledge. Mystery 4, the Dyatlov Pass Incident. February 2nd, 1959. 9 experienced Soviet hikers, trained for extreme conditions, set up camp on the slopes of Kholat-Syakhl in the Ural Mountains. Something happened that night, something so terrifying that they cut their way out of their tent from the inside and ran barefoot into sub-zero temperatures. They didn't grab boots, they didn't grab coats, they didn't take time to exit through the tent door. They just ran. We studied the declassified Soviet investigation files and the 2019 Russian government reinvestigation. The bodies were found weeks later, scattered across the mountainside. Some had massive internal trauma, crushed ribs, fractured skulls, with no external injuries. As if they'd been in a car accident, but there was nothing to hit them. One victim was missing her tongue and eyes. Several had trace amounts of radioactive material on their clothing. The official 2019 conclusion blamed a rare type of avalanche. But that doesn't explain the radiation. It doesn't explain the internal injuries. It doesn't explain why they fled the tent in terror. Alternative theories range from military weapons testing to infrasound-induced panic to paradoxical undressing from hypothermia. But here's what haunts us most. There are circumstances where rational, experienced people will choose certain death over facing what's in front of them. These hikers knew they would die in the cold. They were experts. They knew exactly what running into a blizzard barefoot meant. They chose it anyway. What could inspire that level of primal terror? What could make death by freezing seem like the better option? The Dyatlov Pass incident forces us to confront the limits of human courage. There are things, unknown things, that can override every survival instinct we have. Mystery 3, the Zodiac Killer. Between 1968 and 1969, the Zodiac Killer murdered at least 5 people in Northern California. But what separates this from other serial killer cases is what he did afterward. He sent ciphers to newspapers. He taunted police in letters. He turned murder into theater, into a public performance, a game between himself and society. We analyzed the decoded ciphers and FBI case files. He wanted an audience. He needed attention. He designed his crimes to generate mythology. Some ciphers have been solved using modern computational methods. Others remain encrypted. And that's exactly what he wanted. Permanent questions, eternal debate, immortal mystery. DNA analysis continues. Suspects emerge and are ruled out. The case file grows but never closes. This reveals something deeply disturbing about certain types of violence. It's not always about the act itself. Sometimes it's about the story, the narrative, the legend. The Zodiac didn't just want to kill. He wanted to be remembered. He wanted control over how his crimes were perceived and discussed. And we've given him exactly what he wanted. Every documentary, every book, every Reddit thread, every YouTube video, including this one, keeps him alive. We can't help ourselves. The Zodiac case proves that some killers understand something most people don't. In the information age, attention is immortality. And we're the ones granting it to him. Mystery 2, Cicada 3301. January 4th, 2012. An image appeared on 4chan with a simple message: "We are looking for highly intelligent individuals." What followed was the most complex puzzle in internet history. We interviewed several people who attempted to solve it. The puzzle required expertise in cryptography, steganography, classical literature, music theory, and physical travel to locations in multiple countries: the United States, Poland, France, South Korea, Australia. Hidden codes and images, GPS coordinates leading to physical posters with new clues, book ciphers using obscure texts, layers upon layers of encryption. Only a handful of people worldwide solved it. Those who did reported being contacted privately with further instructions. Then Cicada 3301 went silent. The puzzle appeared again in 2013 and 2014, then stopped completely. We still don't know who created it, why they created it, what organization or individual had the resources, intelligence, and global reach to orchestrate this. Theories range from NSA recruitment to a private intelligence firm to an elaborate art project. But here's what we found most disturbing. The people who solved the puzzle signed non-disclosure agreements. They know the truth. They know who Cicada 3301 is and what they wanted, and they can't tell anyone. This reveals something chilling. There are organizations or individuals with the capability to recruit the world's smartest people through public puzzles and then make them disappear into secrecy. Somewhere out there, people know the answer. They're living normal lives, and they're bound to silence. Cicada 3301 isn't just a mystery. It's proof that some puzzles are designed to separate those who can solve them from those who can't, and then make the solvers vanish. Mystery 1, the Voynich Manuscript. We end with the oldest mystery on this list, and perhaps the most philosophical. The Voynich Manuscript is a 600-year-old book housed at Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book Library. It's filled with an unknown writing system, bizarre illustrations of plants that don't exist, astronomical diagrams that make no sense, and what appear to be biological or pharmaceutical recipes. We consulted linguistic analyses, AI decryption attempts, and historical research spanning decades. It's not random gibberish. Statistical analysis proves it has the structure of natural language, repeating patterns, consistent grammar, word frequency distributions that match real languages. But it doesn't correspond to any known language, code, or cipher system. For 6 centuries, humanity's greatest minds have studied it. Medieval scholars, modern cryptographers, FBI codebreakers, linguists, AI programs trained on thousands of languages. Every theory has failed. Carbon dating proves it's from the early 1400s. The text is consistent throughout, suggesting a real language, not a hoax. But we're no closer to reading it than we were 600 years ago. Here's what makes this the ultimate mystery. It represents the possibility that some human knowledge can be permanently lost. Not because it's impossible to understand, but because the key, the context, the language, the culture that created it, has been completely erased from history. We can hold an answer in our hands and still not understand it. The Voynich Manuscript is a 600-year-old reminder that humanity is not all-knowing, that we can possess something without comprehending it, that there are limits to human understanding that time itself enforces, and that's terrifying. In conclusion, so what do these 10 mysteries reveal about humanity? They show us that we're obsessed with finding patterns, even when they don't exist, that we fear the unknown more than death itself, that we'd rather mock mysteries than admit ignorance, that we erase identities, create chaos for art, and transform violence into performance. But most importantly, they reveal our greatest weakness and our greatest strength. We refuse to give up. For 600 years, people have tried to read the Voynich Manuscript. For 77 years, we've tried to decode Taman Shud. For decades, we've hunted the Zodiac Killer and analyzed Dyatlov Pass. We know some of these mysteries may never be solved. The truth might be lost forever. The answers might not exist, but we keep trying anyway, because that's what makes us human. Not our ability to find answers, but our refusal to stop asking questions. If this video made you think, made you uncomfortable, or made you want to discuss these cases further, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Like the video, share it, and turn on the notification bell. If we missed anything, or if there's something you want to share, drop your suggestions in the comments below. What mystery disturbed you most? Which one do you think will never be solved? What does our obsession with the unexplained say about us? Let me know in the comments. And remember, some mysteries demand answers, but the best ones demand better questions. I'm the Unsatisfied Curiosity. Thanks for watching.